In this episode of the Waves of Joy podcast, you'll hear the second session with my client, Nancy, having a Theta Healing Meditation Technique session. We are going to talk about losing parents and dealing with grief. If this is a trigger for you, maybe skip this episode and come back next time. Otherwise, let's get ready to dive in. Hello and welcome to the Waves of Joy podcast. I'm your host, Brenda Winkle. I'm a mindset and empowerment coach and an advanced theta healing practitioner. This podcast is about finding joy. It will also be about inspiring women who have found and built joy-filled lives. You'll hear more about how to find joy hourly, daily, monthly, and yearly, and learn about how to spread joy. You'll also hear powerful stories that don't sound joyful at the beginning, but where joy was found. I started this podcast because I wanted to normalize finding joy while experiencing the ups and downs of daily life. I hope you feel inspired and entertained. Now, pop in your earbuds or take me with you on your commute, or maybe both. Let's do this. Find waves of joy. Go green with Grove. At Grove, they take the guesswork out of which products are good for you and your home, and every product meets strict standards for being non-toxic, effective, sustainable, and cruelty-free. That one's really important to me. Once you find products that you love, they'll ship you your products straight to your home on a flexible schedule. It's so amazing. You can explore favorites and sustainable products. And when you click the link in the show notes and want to go green, you're going to get a free Mrs. Meyer's set or another gift of your choice when you place your first order at Grove. Check it out. Would you like to feel better and release limiting beliefs? Of course you would. I created a free meditation for you that's downloadable. As soon as you click submit, I'll email you with a downloadable version of this free meditation. Go to brendawinkle.com/feel better. That's brendawinkle.com/FEELBETTER. Your mind and your body will thank you. Hello, and welcome back to Waves of Joy podcast. I'm your host, Brenda Winkle. I have a special guest with me today. You heard Nancy and our Theta Healing Meditation Technique session, and I'm so excited to have Nancy with us again. Hi, Nancy.
Hey, how's it going, Brenda?
It's going so well. I am thrilled to see your face because I can tell that there's been some real shifts for you.
Yeah, there have definitely been some shifts. Absolutely. I feel like a lot has allowed me to open and to pursue, whereas before it was like a taboo, or more of a fear to go to that area. So it's given me some courage to know a little bit of where I need to go, sort of.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I'm noticing like you're smiling. It seems like even though there's stuff we still want to work on, you're just feeling better.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
That. Oh my gosh. Such good stuff.
Oh yeah. Thank you. I mean, there's definitely been a shift. So I appreciate that.
Oh,
Any help.
Oh, I'm so glad to be working with you because it's so inspiring to see the changes and the shifts. I see it in your body language. I see it in your face, and I'm sure that our listeners can hear it in your voice.
I'm sure. Yes. Well, I can feel it. I can definitely feel it. But I know there's a lot more, unfortunately, there, but different things, if that makes any sense. So I guess it's kind of shifted other stuff a little bit, but brought other ones, their ugly heads have been popping.
Well, and that's really typical because I always say healing is like an onion. So when you get one layer really well healed, then you can kind of become aware of something else that might need to be healed underneath that.
Right. That's true.
I love it. Well, let's go ahead and begin, and we'll just get started. We'll get relaxed. We'll do our Theta Healing meditation exactly the same way we did last time. We'll start with the heart centering meditation, get grounded, and then get up into the seventh plane together. Does that sound okay?
Sounds fantastic.
Okay, so just relax into your space and allow your eyes to drop closed or just at a steady gaze somewhere, and just tune into your breath. Notice how it feels to be here in this moment. And I'll invite you to begin to center your energy around your heart space and watch that ball of energy expand every time you inhale and every time you exhale. And on your next exhale, we're going to send that ball of energy down through your spinal column, through your legs, through the bottoms of your feet, through the crust of the earth, into the center of the earth. And just feel into that beautiful earth energy. And on your next exhale, we're going to bring that beautiful ball of energy up through the center of the earth, through the crust, through the bottoms of your feet, up through your legs, up through your spinal column, back into your heart space. And we'll just take some nice breaths, just feeling what it's like to be totally grounded in that beautiful earth energy. And on your next exhale, we'll extend that energy up through the upper part of your spinal column, through your throat, through your third eye chakra, through your crown, up into the sky, up into the atmosphere. And we'll continue to go up, up, up through the layers of dark and light, and dark and light, and dark and light, through the pink layer and the yellow gelatinous layer, up into the bright white light of the seventh plane. And the beautiful thing about Theta Healing meditations is that each time you do it, it's a little bit easier to get there. And as you're looking around today, I want you to notice if you have anything in your hands or on your back that you might be able to get rid of and release. And whenever you're ready, in your mind's eye, extend your hands and release that up to God's light, never to return. And whenever you're ready, you'll notice that there is a ball of unconditional love standing in front of you. And if you'd like, you can just step inside that ball of unconditional love. Just feel what it's like to be loved completely. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. How are you feeling?
Okay, a little on the overwhelm right now.
Okay. And what feels overwhelming?
So many different things. I guess identity, abandonment, maybe some anger
Mm-hmm.
and loneliness.
Okay. So identity, abandonment, anger, and loneliness, those, I mean, that all makes sense. So identity is the first thing that you said, which makes me think that that's probably the thing that we might address first. Does that feel okay to you?
Whatever you think.
Okay. So when you say identity, does it feel like your identity is shifting? Does it feel like you're looking for your identity?
More like I'm looking for my identity. Yeah.
Okay. That sense of wanting to know who you really are.
Yeah, that my purpose, I don't feel like I'm living my truth
Okay. That's
or
big.
my.
So if you were living your truth, what do you think would be different?
I'd be doing something where I'd be making a difference and feel like I'd be part of a bigger scope than I'd be a part of something.
Okay. And what do you think you'd be a part of?
Making changes, hitting goals, and being able to financially feel secure.
What's the hardest part about not feeling financially secure right now?
Just always worried that you don't have enough. You're not able to survive. You're not able to keep up where you're at. And then immediately everything starts to shift and you say to yourself, oh God, what do I have to lose now? What do I need to get rid of? What do I need to change? What do I need? There's no stability in that. You
Right.
know, it's a constant battle of where you're at. You don't have that certainty of anything.
Mm-hmm. That's hard. And you don't have to reveal anything about your identity because, I mean, about who you are or where you live, because I would like you to remain anonymous because you're so courageous in coming forward and allowing us to record this for the podcast. But I do want to just talk through a little bit. You're self-employed, yes?
I am a little bit. My daughter and I started a job in a factory. Not that there's anything wrong, it's just not for me.
Mhm.
But because there's not really many jobs out here
Mhm.
and I live, and I'd either have to just sell everything that I have and move somewhere in order to get a job, you know, and start from scratch again, I guess. So we took a job, and so we started last week. I'd originally applied for one of the head jobs there of the HR to run the company, the plant. But they had already started the hiring procedure by the time I did it. So they're keeping my file, my resume. But so that was what I originally went out for, which is a production and be able to do all that, which I have experience. But right now, what I'm working as is just almost like a tech laborer
Mhm.
with my daughter.
Okay. So what I'm hearing between the lines is that, well, first of all, I want to acknowledge your reality is real right now. And I want to offer that we can shift some of those things as soon as we shift some beliefs and some core beliefs, because we're going to shift your vibration, which is going to shift your experience, which is going to shift your reality. And so what I would like to do is make sure we're targeting the right thing. And I'd like to do some muscle testing. Do you remember that from last time?
Yeah.
So when your body supports something, you're going to tip forward. And when your body doesn't support something, it's going to just gently chip back. And I'm going to invite you to stand, because we learned last time that we want to make sure that we're just totally grounded in the moment, and that
Right.
we're able to do that. So let's just do our baseline statements. Let's do, my name is Nancy.
My name is Nancy.
Okay. And you came forward. My hair is blue.
My hair is blue.
Good. We came backward. And that's good because your hair is not blue. So let's try this. It's safe for me to be abundant.
It's safe for me to be abundant. Wow.
Okay. And that was an immediate fallback.
Wow. Yes.
It is safe for me to be paid what I'm worth.
It is safe for me to be paid what I'm worth.
And that was an immediate fallback, right?
It was huge. I'm sorry. Yes.
Oh, no worries. No worries. We all love our fur babies. um, it's safe for me to make money.
It's safe for me to make money.
Okay. So yes, it's safe for you to make money, but it's not safe for you to be abundant, and it's not safe for you to be paid what I'm worth or what you're worth. It's safe for me to pave my own way.
It's safe for me to pave my own way.
And that was a fallback.
Yeah, but it's shifting back and forth here.
Yeah. Well, we're shifting things, I mean, as we go. It's safe for me to be independently wealthy.
It's safe for me to be independently wealthy.
And that's a yes. Okay. So that's great. And let's do a couple more. I am willing to be abundant.
I am willing to be abundant.
And that's a yes. That's really good. That willingness. Oh, but there was a tip. So let's dig into that in just a minute. I deserve to be abundant.
I deserve to be abundant.
And that was a no. That was a falling back. I am worthy of abundance.
I am worthy of abundance.
And that was a yes.
That's very contradictory, isn't it?
It is, but that's the reason I'm asking you to these in just a subtly different way, so that we can really get to the root of what the belief system is. Because there's some deserve things that are coming up, because it's about whether or not you believe that you deserve to have the things that you would like to have. In fact, let's say that I deserve to have what I want.
I deserve to have what I want.
And that's a no. Okay, go ahead and have a seat. We have a lot of information here, and that's all this is. This is value neutral. It's not good or bad. It's just information. So I would like to dig into this just a little bit more. What consciously comes up for you when I say, do you deserve to have what you want? What would the conscious Nancy say?
Conscious says absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. With your permission, I would like to look a little bit more deeply using a theta healing meditation technique. And I would like to ask Creator to show us both what the root cause of that, the core belief that you don't deserve to be abundant and that you don't deserve to have what you want. Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so go ahead and just relax, and you can close your eyes or keep them open. It's up to you. Creator of all that is, we ask at this time that you help Nancy and I understand what the root of the belief or the core belief that I don't deserve to be truly abundant and I don't deserve to have what I want. Help us understand where that is, where that's located, what it's related to, so that we may shift it. Help us understand in the highest, kindest, quickest, easiest, best way possible across all cells, times, planes, languages, dimensions, versions, and dimensions of Nancy. It is done, it is done, it is done. Thank you. Show us. I'm seeing an image of a man yelling.
That could be my father.
Okay, it feels very patriarchal. I see an image of you as a little girl, very, very scared of this person. This person feels explosive. And I don't know if it was danger or perceived danger, but there's definitely a fear around this person. And it feels like you're storing that right in your heart center. So does that resonate at all to you?
I was never fearful of my father. No. He was explosive. Absolutely. And he always lived thinking that there was never enough and that whatever you did was always going to end up going wrong. And that we'd end up broke and penniless.
Okay. So this brings to mind another question. A lot of us have vows and oaths that we take to our loved ones as a way of declaring loyalty to them. And so I'm wondering if there's a vow or an oath that you have taken subconsciously as a way to honor your dad. And so I'd like to muscle test that, because that's not something that would be something in your conscious awareness for most of us. I mean, some people might know, but a lot of us, we don't know those kinds of vows that we take because they're done in the moment of childhood or even a past life. So would it be okay for us to just test that really quick? Go ahead and stand back up. Okay, thank you. And let's test this. I have taken a vow of poverty.
I have taken a vow of poverty.
Okay. I have made an oath to scarcity.
I've made an oath to scarcity.
I've promised scarcity.
I've promised scarcity.
Mm-hmm. And so when we said oath, you didn't move at all. And when we said, I promise scarcity, you're wobbling back and forth. So there's something there. If I'm abundant, I'm being disrespectful to my father.
If I'm abundant, I'm being disrespectful to my father.
And you're tipping forward. So there's a core belief that your respect to your father is tied to scarcity. So we can shift that. Let me write this down really quick, because I'm just taking notes here all the time, writing.
I keep on bobbing back and forth right now.
And it might depend on how you're thinking about the thing. So there's a promise of scarcity.
Well, my ex was also the same way. Scarcity, scarcity, scarcity.
Mm-hmm. So how about we shift that and see if we can shift a lot of these other things? Would that be okay?
Absolutely.
All right, go ahead and sit back down and get comfortable. And I'm just going to take a quick sip of water too. And what I'd like to do is to shift any programming or any core beliefs around scarcity and replace them with the belief that you can be abundant and that you know how to be abundant and that you know what it feels like to be abundant. Would that be okay?
Oh, please. Yes.
Okay, let's do that. So I'm going to go ahead and close my eyes. You can close your eyes or keep them open, whatever feels good to you. Creator of all that is, we ask at this time that you remove any programming across any cell, time, plane, language, religion, dimension, or version of Nancy that is linked to scarcity, or any kind of loyalty that's linked to scarcity, or any kind of belief that scarcity is the way for her. We ask that you remove all of those programs and replace them with the values and the knowing that she can be abundant. She knows what it feels like to be abundant. She knows that she is abundant. She knows that she can be. She knows how to recognize abundance, how to feel abundance, how to attract abundance, how to live abundantly. We ask that you do this across all cells, times, planes, languages, religions, dimensions, and versions of Nancy in the highest kindness, best way possible. It is done. It is done. It is done. Thank you. Show us. All right. So when we do a major belief shift like that, my signal for seeing that is shifting is a brick wall coming down brick by brick by brick. And I'm seeing that. I'm seeing the bricks fall. And then sometimes I get chills in my body, and I was definitely having chills. And so it feels like we've created some major shifts, and I'd love to double check and just test and make sure that we have shifted everything that we wanted to shift around abundance. Make sure there's nothing else there around abundance. Would that be okay with you?
Absolutely.
How are you feeling right now?
I've kind of got that thing like I had before with the heart, Depends, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
That's means something's happening.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does. We're shifting some things. Let's have you go ahead and stand back up and let's see through our muscle testing what shifted. And let's start with our baseline statements again. I am Nancy.
I am Nancy.
Good. My hair is blue.
My hair is blue.
Good. We said no for that. It is safe for me to be abundant.
It is safe for me to be abundant.
And that's still a no. That's okay. This is why we're testing. I promised scarcity.
I promised scarcity.
And that's now a no. That's really good. It is safe for me to be paid what I'm worth.
It is safe for me to be paid what I'm worth.
Okay, good. And that's a yes and a no. So we're definitely shifting there. I have made an oath of scarcity.
I have made an oath of scarcity.
And that's a no. Good. That's still a no. I have promised scarcity.
I have promised scarcity.
Good. And that's a strong no. I love that. Go ahead and sit back down for just a minute because we've got two beliefs that it is safe to be abundant and it's safe to be paid what I'm worth that are still a no. And so we need to shift that. So I would like to ask you just to close your eyes and tell me the first thing that pops in your mind. Why isn't it safe to be abundant?
Not, you won't have it again. Or the only thing that popped in my mind right there when you said that was my ex. I saw a picture
Okay.
of it.
So almost like you might lose it. If you are able to be in abundance, you'll lose it.
Probably.
Okay.
Probably. Yeah. You'll blow it.
Do you think that's true?
No.
I don't think that's true either.
I honestly, I mean, I did blow it. And maybe that's something I'm harboring as well. When my parents sold their house and they gave us all their money from their house sale. And we were in dire straits at the time. And I spent most of it just to get us out of debt at that point. And with that, I paid off my ex's bills before mine because we only had a certain amount. But I did not know that there was an exit route. And all the ones that were left in my name stayed in my name.
Mm.
And then the money ran out.
Mm-hmm. Well, that doesn't sound like you blew the money. That sounds like you spent the money appropriately. And but it also sounds like that would be a really good opportunity to harbor some unforgiveness towards yourself.
Correct. Mm-hmm. I mean, that still bothers me. And I tried to do the forgiveness and everything because my dad kept saying to me, "Oh, you're going to blow everything. You're going to, we're going to end up penniless. We're going to end up penniless." And I didn't realize that, I wanted my family to have a different perspective in life. It was so bad at the time. My parents were deteriorating. And I wanted them to have some hope. And so I spent maybe some little things that I shouldn't have just to change because we didn't have a home. My parents went into trauma at the same time. It was just, and at the same time, anyway, the ex was pulling away and I didn't realize all that going on, just trying to survive. Mm-hmm. If I had known then what was going on, I would not have spent the money like I did in paying off the bills that were in her name.
Let's offer yourself some forgiveness. Would that be okay if we try and shift that?
Big time, yeah.
Okay, let's do that. Go ahead and relax your body, creator of all that is. We ask at this time that you show Nancy and I where she's carrying this unforgiveness in her body. and that you allow us to shift this unforgiveness. We ask that you do this across all cells, times, planes, languages, religions, dimensions, and versions of Nancy, so that we can shift and heal this unforgiveness. It is done, it is done, it is done. Thank you. Show me. Okay, so it's right above your rib cage, or like right at the base of your rib cage in that heart area that you keep talking about. And it's like right below my bra line is where I'm feeling it for you. Right in the middle there where my ribs meet. So I'd like to shift that and release it and replace that with unconditional love. And then also replace it with some downloads that you can use your discernment to make really powerful and appropriate decisions around money, and that you will always have abundance, and that you can trust your judgment and your discernment. Would that be okay?
Yes. Thank you.
Creator of all that is, we ask that you shift this unforgiveness that Nancy's carrying in her body, that you send it to God's light, never to return. And we ask that you we ask that you remove any scarcity, fear, and that you remove any unforgiveness that Nancy's harboring toward herself. And we ask that you replace that unforgiveness and that fear with a knowing that she deserves abundance, and knowing that she can have abundance, and knowing that she can trust herself with abundance, and knowing that she can discern how to spend money, to know that she can trust her discernment, to know that she can trust her guidance, to know that she can trust herself in maintaining and growing and being abundant. We ask that you do this across all cells, times, planes, languages, religions, dimensions, and versions of Nancy in the highest, kindest, best way possible. It is done, it is done, it is done. Thank you. Show us. How's that feeling for you right now? Good.
I don't know.
Good. The pain that I was experiencing for you is not in my body anymore. I'm not feeling it where that unforgiveness lived. And I'm seeing a happier self. I'm seeing also that there's still this like veil of sadness around, especially the ex. And it feels like there's a little bit of sense that you can't trust your own judgment when it comes to other people. And I would like to shift that, if that's okay with you.
Please.
Creator of all that is, we ask that you help soothe Nancy. We ask that you help remove this veil of sadness around her and envelop her in your love and in your light, in your unconditional love. And we ask that you download Nancy with the understanding and belief that she can trust her discernment when it comes to other people, that she can trust her decision making when it comes to other people, that she can trust her intuitive nudges, that she can have faith that there are still good people and people worth loving her and people worth her loving out there, and that she can rely on her instincts and her intuitive nudges to sense and see when people are safe, and sense and see when people are unsafe. And we ask that you do this across all cells, times, planes, languages, religions, dimensions, and versions of Nancy in the highest, kindest, best way possible. It is done, it is done, it is done. Thank you. Show us. The thing I'm hearing right now is I can breathe. I can breathe. Does that resonate?
Not yet, but it'll get.
Yeah. What were you sensing or feeling?
I'm in a void right now, and I'm just kind of numb right now, because that is, obviously I'm carrying a lot of that.
Yeah. Are you willing to let it go?
Beyond, yes, but maybe I'm not deep down. I don't know. I feel so guilty. I feel so betrayed. I mean, I'm sorry to fling these kind of words. It's just, it's just.
What do you feel guilty about?
I feel guilty that I spent the money. I feel guilty because I didn't know the circumstances. And I shouldn't have trusted. I should not have trusted where,
I was I guess in the relationship, it was covered up real well. I never thought someone with 25 years would do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, you know, my parents' whole life savings was entrusted with me, and I made the wrong decisions, even though they were the right decisions, I thought at the time.
And that's all we can do, right?
Yeah,
Make the right decisions at the right time.
right. But
Mm-hmm.
I also look at it and I go, and I think to myself, if I hadn't done what I did, I wouldn't be in the situation that we're in for the last few years.
Mm-hmm. Will you do something for me? Will you put one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly? And I want you just to imagine like you're just giving yourself a hug and some comfort. And you deserve compassion and you deserve forgiveness. And it feels like you're not quite willing to allow that to happen. And Nancy, you deserve to be forgiven. You deserve to forgive yourself for this. You did the best you could with what you had, and you did the best you could with the information you had.
Yeah.
Would you like to know what it feels like to release that unforgiveness towards yourself?
Oh God, yes.
Okay. It is done. It is done. It is done. Would you like to know what it feels like to stop harboring the guilt and the sense of betrayal?
Yes, I very much appreciate that.
Creator of all that is, it is done. It is done. We ask that you do this immediately. Would you like to know what it feels like to feel that it's safe for you to have abundance?
Oh yes.
And it is done. Would you like to know what it feels like to be deserving of being paid what you're worth?
Yes. Yes.
And it is done. It is done. Big breath in. Oh, I like seeing your shoulders relax a little bit and seeing you exhale. That feels really nice. How are you feeling?
Good. Good.
I'm
It's
seeing
also,
some emotions bubble up, and that's okay.
I've had to hold on to it for quite a while.
Mm-hmm. But you don't have to hold on to it anymore. It's safe to let it go. You learned what you had to learn, and let's ask Creator to mark that complete in the Akashic records. Is that okay with you?
Oh God, yes.
Creator of all that is, we ask that you mark these experiences that Nancy has endured complete in the Akashic records, leaving the lessons that were to be learned and releasing all of the negative emotion and all of the negative marks inside her body and on the cellular level. We ask that you release those to God's light, never to return. And in their place, fill her with unconditional love and light. We ask that you do this across all cells, times, planes, languages, religions, dimensions, and versions of Nancy in the highest and kindest and best way possible. It is done and it is done and it is done. Thank you. Show us. Okay, that feels really good. So what I'd like you to do with your own chest is I'd like you to do some sweeping motions from your chest down. And then just kind of, we're just getting rid of some little energetic things. And on your arms, just brush your arms, brush them down and shake your hands off. We're just getting rid of those strands of energy there. And maybe even in your belly, it feels like you're hanging on to some things in your belly. Just brush your belly. Shake your arms again. How are you feeling?
Good. Good. Tingly all over.
Excellent. That's great. I love it. I love it. So your face is smiling again. Your shoulders are relaxed. How are you feeling? If you had to describe it in a couple words.
I honestly don't. I feel honestly like there's still a little bit still clinging in there. And it's me, probably not. I don't know. I feel better,
Mhm.
but I'm not there yet.
Right. Well, and that makes sense because, it took you a long time to accumulate all these things, and there's probably more in there that we haven't discovered. And so we'll get there. We'll get there. You know how you say yes to everyone in your life and how you show up for everyone? What would it be like if you could show up for yourself in the same way? Do you ever feel like you say yes to all the people in your life, the people at your job, the people in your neighborhood, the people in your family, and by the end of the day, there's not enough yes left for you? Well, if that resonates for you, I want you to join me in my free challenge. It's called the Yes to Me Challenge, and you can register by going to brendawinkle.com/yes challenge. We're going to spend 5 days together live on Zoom. And if you can't join me live, no worries. I'll make sure that you have access to the replays. You're going to feel good. You're going to have fun, and you're going to learn how to put yourself back on your own priority list. Or maybe this will be the first time you're on your priority list. In any case, we're going to have a great time together, and I hope you join me there. So when we started, I asked you about some things, and you told me identity, abandonment, anger, and loneliness were coming up. So which one of those words feels like the best place for us to turn our attention right now?
They're all big ones. I mean, they're all big. Because if I can find out who I am or move towards that direction, I think that will help me with confidence and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And not be so angry with doing something that's not that it's that I don't love doing. Okay. Working 10-hour job a day doesn't bother me if it's something I really love doing, but I'm not a factory worker, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful. Believe me, I'm beyond grateful. But I feel like I'm from the movie Carbon Copy, if you ever saw that one.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Okay. And the anger is because I feel like I shouldn't be in this position. And probably there's also carryover from the other stuff.
Do you think there's a part of you that's punishing yourself?
Oh, absolutely. At this point, I would think so. Maybe. I mean, it came out absolutely. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I guess after you said from the last session that I don't feel like I deserve to be happy. I was an only child and I always had to take care of my parents. Even when I was little, I was the one taking care of them. When I'm talking about 5, 6 years old, I was always the one. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the ex was beyond pampered.
Mm-hmm.
I took time for myself. I was accomplished before my ex, but after that I kind of just let everything take a back seat.
Mm-hmm. So I'd like you to do something that is more behavioral than theta healing. One of the things I teach all my clients and all my students is that when we start to do a few things every single day with regularity, we are signaling to the universe, hey, change is happening. I matter. And we're signaling to ourselves, hey, change is happening. I matter. And it's some really fundamental things that you wouldn't expect to make a huge shift, but they do. Things like sleep, water, nutrition, taking time to connect with somebody that makes you smile, going outside, moving your body, And so I'm gonna email you something or put it in our message thread that you can have. And for all of our listeners, you can get a copy of this by going to brendawinkle.com/7-steps. And it's 7 steps that you can do every day. You can make it a daily checklist. And I'm going to, do you want one that you can print, or do you want one that you can have on your phone?
Print would be
Okay,
great.
I'll send you that one. I do have another one that is sized for phones, so that's the reason I was asking. So
Okay.
when you start to do those behavioral things every single day, and then pay attention to how it feels on a day when you don't do one thing or you don't do two things, and then just keep track of it with non-judgment. It's just information gathering. It's really profound. And then it empowers you to say, hey, I have to drink water. I have to get sleep. I have to eat well, in a way that just feels so good. And I think that that's going to be a really impactful shift. And you keep coming back to this idea of betrayal. And so I would like to unpack that a little bit more, because that keeps coming up in the things that you say. So can you talk to me about, was there another time besides your ex that you felt betrayed?
I guess sometimes my parents would want, they felt like sometimes they choose other people over me. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever.
Yes, it absolutely does. And that leads to the abandonment issues as well.
Right. I mean, they loved me. My mom loved me. My dad did too, in his own way. But that they always used to drill in me that we were only 3 people in the world. That was it. And it always scared me, because I knew if something ever happened to them, I'd be alone, because I really didn't have a big nucleus around me, because I did everything with my parents. You know, I didn't have a lot of friends, and I didn't have, uh, you know, I was social, but I mean, it wasn't, I always was searching for an extended family.
Mhm. That makes so much sense. Um, I know a little something about only kids. I have one. My mom was one. Um, and there, what you're saying is a thing where the only children feel like it's all on them. And then, um, so the elephant that's in the room is you were just the only 3 people in the world, and then they left you.
Right.
And how dare they? I mean, how dare they leave you, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I can understand, but at the same time, I didn't have, when we moved out here, we left everything that we knew over there. Not that we had a lot of great big friends, not great friends. We didn't have a lot of connections, because my ex was extremely controlling and would get jealous. So basically, it was just our little nucleus. That's why we also, you know, we adopted 2 children from Russia. Um, and But there was always, it was, she kept her family at it. They hated me for reasons unknown. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I think there was a feeding of, that was that betrayal of holding us separate at arm's length. So there was never even a feeling of an extended family.
Do you,
And
I'm wondering if there's an like a core belief that allowing yourself companionship and community is disloyal to your parents. Could we muscle test that to see if there's anything there? Maybe there's not. Maybe I'm wrong. It's possible. But let's muscle test it.
Okay.
So let's do our baseline. I am Nancy.
I am Nancy.
Good. My hair is orange.
Orange.
Good. We feel forward at the right time and backward at the right time. It is disloyal to my parents for me to have community.
Is disloyal to my parents to have community.
It is disloyal to my parents to have companionship.
Is disloyal to my parents to have companionship.
And so both of those are a no, but those are that. So that's not the underlying belief. It is safe for me to have community.
It is safe for me to have community.
And that's a yes. That's good. It's safe for me to have companionship.
It's safe for me to have companionship.
And those are both yeses. Great. So there's something else going on here. I'm wondering about the abandonment. And I'm wondering if there's a core belief around abandonment, or there's something there that we haven't quite hit the bottom of. So just kind of close your eyes for just a second and just relax and just think about, because abandonment, you said independently at the beginning of our session, and then it came up again when you said sometimes your parents chose other people over you. And then I asked you about the betrayal. And then we talked about your parents leaving, and you turned that corner and talked about your ex. And so somehow they're related. Your ex and your parents. There's some similar thread there in the way that you're feeling. Did your ex choose other people over you?
She was a narcissist, so a full-blown covert narcissist. I just never understood it till the end. I just thought she was.
Well, there's an age-old story of the empath and the narcissist, right?
Yeah.
Because you're feeling each other's needs. As the empath, you feel like you're really doing a good job because you're meeting their needs. As a narcissist, as long as you're putting them up on the pedestal, they're feeling great too. Were either of your parents narcissists?
My father.
Okay.
Mother just catered to him. Like there was nothing she could do there was always another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Never sat.
It never sat right.
Yeah.
What do you think it would mean to your mom if you were able to break this pattern?
It destroyed her. So she would be thrilled. I mean, she allowed him to destroy her because not back then, but there was such a loyalty. Even, they were married 59 years. You just don't walk away, even though the person's treating you like garbage.
Mm-hmm.
She was an accomplished woman, beyond accomplished. And she just never could soar.
Mm-hmm. Is it okay for you to break free from that?
Oh God, yes. I mean, now I realize what it was. I didn't know then. But
when you're holding yourself accountable for spending the inheritance money or the money from your parents' house, but isn't that the same thing? Here's why I'm asking. If your mom was doing everything for your dad to keep him happy, and then you spent the money to keep your partner happy before having an awareness, don't you deserve that same level of compassion that you're seeing for your mom?
Yeah, it wasn't only on my partner though. I really didn't spend, I just did it on the bills, but I also did for my parents as well.
On their bills too.
Yeah. I mean, it was but just being able to survive, be able to get them medication, get them, diapers because they needed it then, it was just, it was a really, really hard situation at the time. So it was for everybody, and trying to keep us afloat at how we were used to living, so that all of this wouldn't have impacted us as bad as it was. I took the brunt of it because here we were in a new state with absolutely knowing nobody, having been robbed by the bank, and stuff, losing a house, not losing a house, but having to pay for the house, doing a lawsuit, and not having a house to live in. I mean, it's beyond comprehension, trust me. And see, my parents were expelled from Egypt, and so all that came, they had to leave with just the clothes on their back. So that trauma, they felt like all that was coming at them again.
Okay. So you just said something that made my antenna go, oh, let's look at this. You said your parents' trauma from having to leave Egypt. So we know now, because of the study of epigenetics, that we carry trauma generationally. So what I'd like to do, if that's okay with you, is look into that and see if we can heal that through the generations and through you. Would that be okay?
That'd be great. That would be
Okay.
great.
So let's take a look at that. Creator of all that is, we ask at this time that you show us, both Nancy and I, that show us anything that is relevant towards the trauma that her parents endured, and any trauma, lines of trauma or strings or attachments of this trauma, so that we can better understand what to shift. It is done. It is done. It is done. Thank you. Show us. Okay, so I'm seeing a few things. One is you must stay invisible. You must stay invisible. Don't be seen. You need to make sure that you're being quiet. Don't accumulate a lot of wealth. It's really important for you not to accumulate wealth, because if you accumulate wealth, you're going to generate attention. Does that seem like it might resonate?
And maybe the invisible, yes. The accumulating of wealth, we never were wealthy, so.
Right, but I'm suggesting that's the reason. So your dad kept saying you're going to end up penniless, you're going to end up penniless, and he's speaking his world into existence, but it makes me wonder if there's more to it than that. It's a fear. Would it be okay?
His father lost everything. His father had a huge corporation, and he became sick, and when he got sick, his partner took all the money from him when he didn't know it. They were left penniless. And my dad always harbored that you could never trust anybody, because look what happened. Yeah.
So we need to shift this, and I want to double check on something. I want to check on to see if you have other vows that you have taken, or oaths. Not because I worded it, I took an oath to my parents. I took a vow to my parents when I tested it before. I did not test for generational oaths or generational vows. So I'd like to do that, and then let's go in and shift this, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
So if you don't mind standing up, we'll muscle test this, and we'll do our baseline. I am Nancy.
I am Nancy.
Good. My hair is green.
My hair is green.
Good, and it's not green. I have taken an oath of poverty.
I have taken an oath of poverty.
I have taken a vow of poverty.
I've taken a vow of poverty.
Okay, say that one more time. I have taken a vow of poverty.
I've taken a vow of poverty.
Let me switch this. I have taken a generational vow of poverty.
I've taken a generational vow of poverty.
There it is. Okay, so when I start, go ahead and sit down. When I start to hear people talk about, oh, this happened to me, and this happened to my father, and this happened to my grandfather, I start to think, oh, okay, we've got something going on here generationally. So there is a generational oath, or excuse me, vow of poverty. And that's not uncommon. So many of us have history. If you go back through lifetimes, so many of us have history where we have taken those vows because that was important. It's how we stayed alive in, different time periods. So let's shift that. And let's also shift this invisibility thing, if that's okay with you, and give you the download and the understanding that it is safe to be visible. And then let's heal this vow, if that's okay.
Okay. Let me
Okay.
just, as a polar opposite.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And that explains why you're having this conflict, because there's the part of you that wants to move forward, that wants to be visible, that wants to be abundant. And then there's this other part of you that's got the brakes on the whole time.
Right. I mean, she was the only one that kept us going all the time, saying, no, we're going to have the money. We're going to have this. This can be done. You can be anything you want to be. There's no fear. Just go for it.
Yeah. Yep. That's amazing. She's such a gift for you.
She was.
Yeah.
She was my best friend.
I bet you miss her.
Beyond. It's the worst thing to see your parents, especially your mom, just disintegrate in front of you, and she's knowing what's going on and she's trying to cover it up so that you don't worry, but she's losing all her faculties as she's going. And she's still trying to be motivating during all that.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's shift some of that pain too from those memories and just keep the loving memories, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is a lot.
Oh, don't be sorry. This is why we're doing this. Don't be sorry. This is a lot of juicy stuff here. So, all right. Just making a note to make sure I talk about all the things I want to talk about. Let's go ahead and have you relax your body. You can close your eyes or keep them open, but just hold space. Creator of all that is, we ask at this time for you to heal the painful memories around Nancy's mom's decline for Nancy, and that you allow her to keep those loving memories. And we also ask that you heal the generational trauma that Nancy's family on her dad's side have endured around poverty and loss. We ask that you allow Nancy to release all the programming around scarcity and lack, and that you download her with the understanding that it's safe for her to be abundant, that it's safe for her to have an accumulation of wealth, that it's safe for her to have enough, and that it's okay to have enough, and knows what it feels like to have enough, to know what it is like to be enough, to have enough, and to know that it's safe for her to be visible, and to know that she no longer has to be invisible. And we also ask that you remove and heal completely all vows of poverty through the generational lines of Nancy's family on both sides. We ask that you heal it across the physical level, the emotional level, the spiritual level, and resolve it on the history level. We ask all this to be done across all cells, times, planes, languages, religions, dimensions, and versions of Nancy. And we ask for you to do this in the highest kindness and best way possible. It is done, it is done, it is done. Thank you. Show us. Okay, that's a pretty massive shift. I'm feeling it in several different areas of your body, in your stomach, in your lower abdomen. And then for the first time, I saw in my mind's eye you smiling. Like we finally gotten to the bottom of some of this. And you have a lot of emotions happening right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
What are you experiencing?
I felt a little release, but I also saw my mom. but she
Yeah.
wasn't.
And she wasn't what?
She wasn't sick.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And you know that she's accessible to you. She's with you. She's
Yeah.
with you. Yeah, you've done such a good job today, Nancy. We have been on a long time and we've done so many shifts, and you're probably going to be exhausted later today. You're going to need a nap maybe, or go to bed early. You're definitely going to need to hydrate, because we have done some massive, massive shifting today. And I can't wait to hear how you feel in the morning and in a couple days from now.
I'm working tonight, so from 10 to 7.
Okay, awesome. Do you carry your phone with you, or are you able to have like a notepad in your pocket or something?
No,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I'll definitely remember things.
All right, awesome. Because I'm just asking because sometimes right after a big shift like this, creativity strikes and you get ideas, creative solutions around things. So be ready for that to happen.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
All right. You're
Thank you.
so welcome. It's my pleasure. I'm going to stop recording.